One of our favorite summertime activities is barbecuing and entertaining. When you're hosting the barbecue, it's always a good idea to inform your guests of all the rules pertaining to your dog. You should never give your dog any bones or let any of your guests give your dog any bones. Onions, a condiment we use all the time, are very toxic to dogs. And in the fruit salad, we always like to add grapes or raisins, very toxic as well. And finally, for dessert, chocolate cake, one of our favorites, very toxic to dogs. One thing you might not think of is corn on the cob, but at least once a week during the summer, we're pulling a cob of corn out of the back of a large dog's throat. So be very careful with that, whether you're eating it or putting it into the garbage. The foods we're barbecuing are generally very fatty, and a dog ingesting one meal of a fatty food can lead to an inflamed pancreas. This can be deadly if not treated very quickly. Items that are barbecued and wrapped: aluminum foil. The dog will eat the entire package, foil and all, and it'll cause a tearing of the intestine, and it's quite often deadly. The knife you use to cut products is very tasty. The juice is on the knife, and if it's very sharp, the dog can easily cut its lip, mouth, tongue. Common way of cooking also is using kebab skewers. People put on meats, vegetables, and these skewers are either metal or wood, and if your dog were to go for the meat or the vegetables, they're not going to remove it from the kebab skewer, and they will impale their throat and cause a big problem. And the last thing, of course, is cellophane wrap that we use to wrap up meats and products. Your dog will ingest the entire product, cellophane and all, and this will cause a blockage in the intestine and lead to vomiting and possibly a very critical situation. Don't forget, your grill is very hot, so always leave the lid down or always attend to the food, because the dog will jump up if they're large enough and attempt to eat the food right off the grill or lick the grill and cause burns to the tongue and mouth, which are very severe. Watch your unattended alcohol. A lot of dogs love the taste of beer. They also like the creamy type of drinks like Bailey's and Kahlua that people put in coffees. And a dog has a very low tolerance and will get clinically depressed by just having a few licks of your drink. Always make sure you have garbage containers that have sealed lids on the top. I'll make sure it's secure. Watch your dog very carefully at someone else's house, because there's a lot of dangers hidden in the backyard that you might not think of. Insecticides, citronella candles, for example, pesticides, herbicides, things to kill rats and slugs, and even fertilizer, very toxic for dogs. So if it's not your house, keep your dog on a leash and ask the host what's been put out in the yard. Whenever there's children at the barbecue, always remember, not all kids are good with dogs, and not all dogs are good with kids. So please ask the host and the people who are at the barbecue, are your children good around dogs? Or if there's strange dogs around, always keep them on a leash, because children have a tendency to pull on ears, tails, and on a hot day, a dog will snap at a child, or if a child is eating a hot dog or a hamburger, and the last thing we want is the child to be inadvertently bitten. On beautiful summer days like today, the sun is shining, it's nice and hot, but dogs will run around and children will chase them, and they just don't know when to stop. They don't have self-control, and they won't go to the shade, and they won't have water, and before you know it, your dog will be lying flat, suffering from something very critically dangerous called heat stroke. So always make sure you have timeouts, you put your dog in the shade, and give it a fresh bowl of cool water.
Hold it like a treat.
This all may seem like a very daunting list, but just a little thought ahead of time can save your dog possibly their life and save you a lot of money with veterinary bills. So have a great summer, great barbecues, and remember, safety first.